So I have good news and bad news. The good news is we're back. There's a new episode of Sister Wives, and we're doing a watch-along. The bad news is my wife, Allison, is a massive fan of Pink. Massive, like she's going to 2 concerts this fall, and one of them is tomorrow night in San Diego. So she's in San Diego with a friend in advance getting ready for the concert. I think that means just buying sequined boots or cowboy hats. I'm not sure, but she's out there having a great time not watching Sister Wives. So tonight you are stuck with just me. So I'm sorry. She'll be back next week. Let's get into it.
But Meri and I always have had this steadiness between the two of us. Like, at least I could go to her and look at her in the eyes and say, we're here for each other, right? We're going to stick this out, right?
Isn't it interesting that Robyn genuinely believes that her experience and Meri's experience has been similar? In her mind, the two of them have been able to hold hands and make eye contact and go, we're both struggling with this man or this situation together. We're in it. We're suffering together. Let's not give up together. And it's like, there is a disconnect. I don't know. I can't tell if she's tracking it or if she's not tracking it. But there's moments like this where I think she just doesn't get it. Like, she's just missing the social awareness to understand what's actually happening around her.
I've seen Nancy.
Oh, okay.
I saw Nancy.
Okay.
And it was helpful.
Nancy is the family counselor, therapist that we saw in Vegas.
Let me just say real quick, it is not a best practice to have one clinician, one therapist, meeting with everybody in the family or multiple parties within a family. You might have a couples counselor that's meeting with the couple and then meeting with both parties outside of couples counseling for the purpose of helping the relationship. But you wouldn't have a marriage counselor that's just meeting with one member of the relationship. Not going to just meet with the wife. Because what happens is the therapists are going to overly align with the wife, and then it distorts how couples counseling works. And so I don't know exactly what the dynamic is with Nancy, but my sense is she's a little bit enmeshed in the family and is, navigating dual relationships and is probably colluding with some people inadvertently. It just distorts things. It's not pure when you're meeting kind of as needed like this, as opposed to having a more systematic approach to family treatment.
What do you mean something different?
I don't want to be married anymore.
You're done.
Yeah, and I don't know what to do with that.
I think because it's her identity, right? There's a part of it which is, Kody's an a-hole. There's a part of it which is she doesn't feel aligned to Robyn or whatever. But this is all that Janelle's known, right? And so I think if she loses the relationship, I'm sure Janelle's sort of going well, then who am I?
Does he know you're done?
I mean, I've told him not to come back.
Christine's pretty excited about this whole situation here. What, you're done? You're telling me you're done? You're done. Tell me you're done.
I'm not sure what exactly is going on with Janelle and Kody. I think it's because he doesn't like what I have to say. Because I'm like, figure this out, talk.
I simply don't believe that. I don't think she's pushing anything.
Is she gonna just keep putting more pieces there of herself there that will eventually take her there all the way?
You have somebody in Meri who is exceptionally religious and someone who, by her own admission, hates change. I think the religion and the fear of change and things being different, the fear of giving up, I think those things keep her in the relationship. Right? And those are strong, powerful drivers. So it just tells you how horrific it must be if she's like, I need to find a way out of the relationship. I think moving her business, her clothing business, to Parowan is psychologically, it's making the adjustment easier for her. Instead of her saying, I'm out, I'm doing something different, she's saying, I'm taking a step back. And she will just progressively take steps back.
I'm grateful she's hanging on and I want her to continue to, but I feel selfish. To see if something can happen between her and Kody has got to be hard.
That's a reasonable comment from Robyn, right? Like that shows more awareness than she's shown historically. Like that she's never before acknowledged that it might be hard for the other wives, I don't think.
There's really been no outright abuse. There's been no neglect. There's been nothing that I could point my finger to and say I deserve a divorce.
First of all, that's a pretty low bar to set. As long as there's no outright abuse or neglect, then there's no reason to get a divorce. No wonder Kody's so frustrated. Like, man, all these women, they need so much from me. I'm not physically abusing them, and I don't think I'm neglecting them. I don't know. There's definitely emotional abuse, no question. I would argue, I understand that she's talking about like physical neglect. They're all eating and they have shelter and all that. I understand, but oh man, it's just a weird way. Weird's the wrong word. It's a different worldview that I'm used to. This idea that because you've entered into this covenant, you can be marginalized, you can be ignored, you can be dismissed, and your kids can be mistreated, and that's okay. That's kind of the lens that she's viewing it from. I'm not sure what to say, but that's a tough way to view a marriage, I think.
Just let me know ahead of time.
Talk about it and figure it out. Okay.
But you have to communicate with me. You have to call me once in a while. Robyn hasn't reached out a lot.
I have such a hard time with Robyn. Like there's nothing novel. There's no pearl of wisdom here, right? Robyn, she wants this thing, she wants this family, but she's clearly not willing to put any true effort into it. And Meri, has just been treated so poorly. I don't know how she does it. But Robyn's going to act all surprised. Oh, come on, how could you leave me? We're in this together. Meri, we're the same.
But Meri would like to reconcile, and I'm just glad we're getting along. And reconciling as far as our marriage, I just don't know if that works.
Is he talking about reconciling since the catfish episode? Like, what is that we're talking? How long ago was that? That's like 5 years ago, right? How long are we not going to reconcile?
See, it's hard for me to say it's final.
Oh, okay. So you're not there yet.
Well, no, I am.
Separated.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
for
sure.
Okay, well, that's great.
It's final, right? It's fine. It's not final. It's fine. I don't care. Whatever. It's up to you. Is it final? Is it final? Is it almost final? Poor Christine is over the moon with excitement.
Kody used to be so dynamic and so bold.
I never found him particularly dynamic or bold. But I didn't marry him.
Sorry, I don't buy that he is lamenting. Where has his family gone? Because if he was, he would work more at it.
100% agree. I 100% agree. And I'm glad she can say it, but it doesn't quite register, right? Like, she says it, she knows it intellectually, but in her heart, she's still waiting for him to come back and say, okay, let's resume the relationship. I feel bad for Meri.
I can sit there and ask those questions. I can say, why don't you figure this out? Why can't you work this out? But Kody's going to do what Kody's going to do.
Okay, that line of thinking drives me nuts. And I feel there's just like this, I feel like I keep seeing this in these episodes where you have this guy, Kody, who is mistreating the wives and mistreating the kids. And when asked why people don't hold him to account, the answer is always, look, he can't be talked to. We've known him for years, and this is how he is. Kody's going to do whatever Kody's going to do. And as a result, he gets no real pushback. And it's like, Robyn, it is your responsibility as his wife, as the person who is closest to him, to try and help him hold the family together. Janelle, as I said before, I think it is your role as his wife and the mother of the kids he's mistreating to tell him to get it together. Meri, I think it is your role as the spouse who is outside of the relationship to continually reach out to Kody and say, let's make this work. Like this idea that he mistreats people and then they all go like, hey, he's an a-hole, and so we're going to pull back and just create space away from him. I just don't know that it's not a strong solution. It's fair. I understand why they feel that way. I am sympathetic to their position. And if the goal is truly to resume a healthy family dynamic, Kody clearly needs to get some feedback.
Realization is happening now that friendship in a marriage is not enough to carry off the marriage. You got to have more than friendship.
Is that what he thought? We just got to be friendly with our wives? Is that what he's talking about?
This whole story about that I turned him against them is ridiculous and bogus.
So I understand that Robyn's going to say, I'm not a victim. But then the next breath is, but I've been scapegoated for Kody's bad relationships with the rest of the wives. And I guess the question for her is, I guess I wonder, does she have any interest in learning why she is the scapegoat? Why do all of the wives keep pointing to her? Like in her mind, what's the explanation? Is it that she's a better wife? Is it that she's a more attractive wife? Is it that she, last season she does things with Kody that they won't? Like, I wonder what the narrative is in her mind.
Meri and I went through an entire process here over the past 7 years. We get along with each other, but I don't want to reconcile the relationship.
That'd be ridiculous. With your wife, reconcile? Nah. And don't get divorced either. Just stay together in a platonic relationship. Super fair to her. Super fair.
I wanted to live through a marriage. People are making decisions for my life that I did not choose. It's making me very angry.
She leaves Kody. The three go, and then Robyn goes, I don't want to be in a monogamous relationship, and so she goes off and finds other sister wives. I think that's a sincere emotion on her part. I think that she has caused a lot of this. I think she's had a role in a lot of this, in the way that she's allowed Kody to navigate the different relationships. But I do believe that she had the fantasy of, the white picket fence or whatever, or everyone's on the porch and all the kids running around. Like, she had that fantasy, and she's lost it.
Next time on Sister Wives.
I'm not pressuring you to move.
I mean, it's all on the table at this point.
It does feel like they are dragging this out, right? Like for the last 3 episodes, it's the trailer has been Meri's going to leave Kody. Meri's going to leave Kody, and we're still waiting for that moment to happen. I don't know. I thought it was okay, slow moving. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And next week, Allison will be back with hopefully fantastic stories of the Pink concert. Thanks for listening.